there we go. That looks nice. Hello everybody and welcome to Kelly Arts. This is the first video in a series in which I am doing a painting of a month. I started at the beginning of this year and we are into the August painting because I recorded this in August, conveniently enough. We're going to start with just kind of getting a background, just kind of blocking in the colors of various things. It's going to be kind of a forested thing, and you know, it's important to test gravity when you do your paintings to make sure the gravity in your studio is where it needs to be. No? Well, that was a good idea, I thought. You should probably wash that. There we go. We got things going. I'm going to quick wash later and we're back to blocking in the colors. Now this is going to be kind of a forest scene. I don't normally like to do landscapes. I did a lot of landscapes when I was early on. Quick shirt change here. This actually was a couple days, and I looked at it and going, I don't really like that. You can really see the canvas through, so we're just going to block on some more colors. I'm using pouring medium with my colors to keep things loose and free so I can just kind of blend it out. I'm using acrylic paints, which have a tendency to drying relatively fast, which is good. I prefer oils. So the idea here is I'm trying to get like the idea of leaves and stuff in the background. So I got out my sea sponge, started to, block stuff in, but then, the paint's not dry, which is kind of like the opposite of what acrylic does. So we're going to let this dry for a little bit. Alright, so we're going to let this dry, and I'm going to come back the next day wearing the same shirt because, laundry sucks. And I'm going to continue blocking it in with my sponge using a combination of burnt umber and burnt sienna. Now at this point it kind of looks like, what you would get from Mrs. Marlette's 4th grade class when you're doing arts. And you got the sponge and everyone's art kind of looks like the same, but we'll pull this together. I'm fairly confident. I sure as heck hope so. Adding a little sap green to kind of give it the living forest look, and Bob Ross will be happy that I'm putting in some happy little plants so we can get this kind of a ground defined area. And this is kind of the concept art that I did originally. It's trees kind of growing together. It's the whole community family fabric type of theme. So took the opportunity of sketching on the drawing. It's not exact, but it's close enough. And as you can see here, you can actually see the painting decent. Changed the lighting. I actually had the camera inside of a ring light, and for the most part I think it did good holding it, but it looks different here, and I wonder why. Maybe because I forgot to turn on the ring light. So I'm blocking in the trees with burnt sienna, which I love burnt sienna. It's one of my favorite browns. Oh, look, somebody forgot the ring light. Oh, that looks a lot better, Kelly. Wow, you did a good job. Hi there. Yes, you're an idiot. Oh, well, lessons learned. We didn't discover this until after we started editing. It's like, why did my video look like crap now? Oh, well, kind of late to go back now. So my thought was, I'm going to block in these trees with burnt sienna, which, like I said, I love burnt sienna. Let's go with a bigger brush because it's taking forever. Watching myself paint this, editing before I split up the footage, I paint really slow. I mean, this is like 1500% speed increase, so, you're not here all day. I think right around here, we soon realized that burnt sienna is probably not the best color because trees aren't burnt sienna. Mix in some burnt umber, or I think it's just umber. But yes, the trees look definitely a lot better. So we're going to paint these in for a little bit. Burnt umber is one of the other browns that I really like. It's just nice, dark, and rich. Burnt sienna is kind of like a well, you can see it. It looks very orangey, but it's kind of a, I don't know, like a leather look. I've been trying to make a nice leather surface for some paintings that I did. I got one that's really good with that, and I forget exactly how I did it, but it's usually a combination of burnt sienna and burnt umber together to get the nice effect that I like. Painting in some of the roots. I don't know what I did with that one tree on the right. He's a big old chunky boy with the roots. He's just so heavy. So this just gives you more of a sense of how slow and methodical I am when I paint. Just taking my time, putting in the color. Be grateful that I sped up the footage as much as I did, because yeah, we'd be here for a while. I'm listening to podcasts right now, so it makes the process go a little bit faster, because otherwise my brain just kind of finds its own things to think about. Painting these trees reminds me of why I really don't do landscapes anymore. It's like I've painted so many trees. I used to watch Bob Ross a lot, and Walter Alexander, who actually Bob Ross learned from, was on my local PBS station, so I learned painting a lot of that stuff, and I had some really happy little trees and stuff. I don't know, are these happy trees? Write in the comments if you think these trees are happy or they got an attitude problem. They're definitely growing together. They're fighting a little bit, maybe for space to get up there, but you know, the whole idea is this is supposed to represent community, family, fabric, community spirit, how we're all intertwined together, really, if you think about it. So I suppose these are happy trees. I'm not going to put leaves on these trees because that would just cover up the trees. But we'll get to what I do at the end to kind of tie everything together. Using a little brush and just kind of working the branches in. I'm going to have them weave in and out, so kind of a surrealistic way of them weaving, because like you'd expect one tree to be in front of the other just by where the roots are and the branches are, but then the branches are weaving kind of weirdly. I love surrealistic art, Salvador Dali, Rene Magritte, that sort of things. Some of my paintings kind of definitely reflect that. Not so much this one, I think, although this kind of has a dreamlike quality to it. I just look at the root of that tree on the right and go, what did I do? You know, I think I fixed it in the end. Looking over at the finished piece, that's right by where I'm recording this. Yeah, I think I did. But right now, it's like, ugh. Sometimes you make mistakes and you gotta look at it. It's probably a good thing that I finished going in and darkening these trees, because right now with the burnt sienna trunk, which is the partial, it just looks demonic. Maybe the best way I could describe it is just, trees aren't supposed to be that color, Kelly. Well, let's darken them up. We'll add some highlights later. Now I'm kind of using a smaller brush on the trunk because I kind of hoping that some of the brush strokes would show through, so kind of give a bark texture, but the paint is so thin it really doesn't give that effect. So, well, live and learn. Everything's an experiment. Some of you might have noticed early on that when I was blocking in the color and such like that, I was actually painting the sides of the painting. I do that because I'm too cheap to buy frames for my paintings, so they hang just with the exposed canvas. So I always try to make sure I get the sides the best I could, so you don't get like glaring white on the sides of your painting, which didn't used to do that. So some of my older paintings from college, which don't have frames because, again, I'm too cheap to buy frames because frames are expensive. You can see the raw canvas on the edge, and it's like, you should go back and fix it, but that would mean getting out oil paints, which I love oil paints. My current spouse is really sensitive to smells, and so I'm using acrylics so I don't affect it for them. Making the bottom tree a little bit chunkier because I realized I put a really thick branch in a really small tree, so we're going to make the tree a little bit bigger. Nice little transition jump cut. It's a couple days later, trunks are all nice and dry. We're going to start highlighting. And immediately I got way too much white on my brush for my comfort. It's not like there's a spotlight on these trees. It's supposed to be in the middle of the forest. Kelly, what are you doing? Why don't you thin that out some? Maybe make it a little bit darker. Oh, there she goes. She's sped up. I'm also trying to not lean in front of the camera, which really kind of challenges me on this because I'm off to the right of the canvas. Instead, I would sit normally right in front of it. It's really kind of hard to do that and record video. So, not going to get quite the effect that I want because I really can't lean in as much as I like to, but I think I did pretty good. There's a good view of my shoulder. Get used to that. You're gonna like my left shoulder a lot in the rest of the video, I think, because, you know, I kind of have to lean in some. Let's move the back of my head. This is how you can tell I'm a professional YouTuber artist, because I'm blocking the view of the camera. Maybe next time I'll try laying the canvas flat on the desk with the camera overhead so I'm not blocking the view so much instead of using the easel. Using my little highlighter. Again, getting way too much white on there. Hi, there's the back of my head. Nice view of my ponytail. Alright, so the trees are mostly done. I used blue, kind of work the shadow, and I also used gold on the highlight end. Blue is good for the shadow edge because it's just a nice highlight color. That's kind of like an anti-highlight color, I guess. And I decided that, yeah, this is a nice picture of trees, but it really doesn't give the sense of community webbing as much as I thought. So it's like, well, how can I do that? So I'm going to lean on the abstract a little bit, and I'm going to make this into not just a community family or community spirit. I'm going to make this into community fabric. So I'm making the trees into the warp of the fabric, and I am going to weave a nice, interesting ribbon, which I'm sure you saw from the thumbnail, in between the trees, going under, over, under, over. I think that's the weft. Web? I don't know. Leave a comment to tell me what term I'm totally screwed up on. I wanted this more red, but we're going to lighten it up so it's pink. Well, matches my shirt. We'll go with that. I like pink, obviously. I don't know what the red is actually supposed to be other than just kind of give a sense that everything tied together. It's not like mystical energy bonds or anything like that. It could be. I mean, if you want it to be. But for me, it's just lines kind of tied together, putting a little dark on the bottom and light on the top. Maybe it's physical structure. Maybe they're just giant cables. Maybe the electrical company's gone crazy in this forest. Who knows? My world, it could be whatever I want it to be. So I'm just going to make them pink lines. I finished that, and the satisfactory part that so many people seem to think is satisfactory, and that's peeling it off. Yay, I peeled off the tape. Oh look, I'm going to peel off another. Isn't this satisfying looking at the back of my hand peeling off tape? Let's speed this up a little bit. There we go. It gets done so much faster that way. And done. And let's touch up the trees. Oh, we got some red smear on their branch. That's not going to work. Kelly, you should fix that. There you go. Probably should wait till the paint dries first, but it is what it is. I'll get it fixed. Touching it up. And we're going to add a little bit of grass growing down here. We're going to hide the chunky root a little bit. And it's not so bad. It's very sparse grass. You know, I don't want to just pile it in because we want to see the roots. So it's just some sap green and some white, just kind of making some thin grass. Thinned out. touch up the ribbon a little bit, because perfectionists never stop what they're doing. Sometimes they should stop what they're doing, but stopping what I'm doing has never stopped me from doing it. Yay! Thumbs up. We're done. Oh, we're not done. We got to sign it. Nice, Kelly. Yay. There we go. And we're done. All right, now we're gonna give a nice little close-up. I did go back after I was done, when I actually could look at it full on and realize a few spots needed a little TLC, so I went and touched them up myself, not on camera. It wasn't too bad. It's not my best piece. It's not my worst piece by far. I wouldn't call it high art. It's more of a concept piece. This year I've been doing a painting a month based on a concept that people have given me. My friend Ray gave me this as community spirit, kind of nebulous. So we'll see what we come up for next month. Thank you for watching. Share if you will, and have a great day.